Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here, and it is Friday, and we love Friday here at my channel. I'm so glad you're here. It is Socialites Day on the last Friday of April and the last day of April. We're going to be ushering April out into May. I'm excited for May. So what's our Socialites today? It is Delight. I think it's wonderful, and it's a basket. We just did a basket recently for My Home Is. So if you were in love with doing that basket, you have another one to work on today for the Socialites. So let me add that light's too bright. Okay, so this is a traditional basket block, and it's done in two colors with my Morrison Park. I love doing this one with the darker color as the background and then the light basket. It's not how we normally do a lot of image-based blocks. Your images would probably be the darker and then you'd have a light background, but it is fun to switch it up. I could definitely see this one as a whole basket quilt. I love basket blocks. It's been a long time since I've done a couple baskets or even a whole basket quilt, which I think would be super fun to do one day. I'll put it in my long list of things to do, a basket quilt. So with Delight, I think that that is a great word to segue for today is Arbor Day. So it is delightful to have trees, delightful to plant a tree for Arbor Day. So two things. So if you could plant a tree today, what kind of tree would you like to plant? I would like to plant a dogwood, a pink dogwood, please, because out my window, from by my desk, I would love to look out there in the spring and see a pink dogwood and daffodils coming up and some azalea bushes. That would just be so pretty against the back edge of my yard out there. So I don't know, I've been thinking a lot about the garden and how you do placements and where you put things, because I've never been much of a garden planner. I've just sort of like put something here, put something there, and move it around. But I thought that that would be wonderful. Also for Arbor Day, if you have a quilt with a tree on it, a whole quilt of tree blocks, a quilt that has one or two trees on it, share those quilts today over in my community, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan. And if you want to share here at my website, you can go, and the share box is at the bottom of the post today because you're sharing your Socialites blocks there. You can share your tree quilt there. This is my more recent one with a tree on it, is Drive Down Bonnie Lane, and I think there's still a couple patterns for that left. I'll link you down below in the description box, and if you would click that subscribe, click, and the bell so that you'll get a little notice whenever the new videos come out. It is also Sail Away Day. Oh, so excited. This is the cross stitch Sail Away. It is a mystery with the Fat Quarter Shop, and today is the first part. You get the first mystery part. So if you bought the pattern, it will be in your email today. If you do not buy the pattern yet, you can buy it and it will send you the first part today. So I want to share a little bit about where that's going. Okay, so this is the first part of the Sail Away, the mystery page, not the pattern part, but this is a little, tells you all this information, and it is revealing. So what we're revealing today is the border. So there is a little border around this, and let me show you. I started it because I asked for mine a day early. I know. They won't give it to me again, but they did this time so that I could show you. I said, I want to stitch it to show them. So it is a chain, like a C chain, like a chain link that you would have out by the boats to hook them up to the edge of the dock. So there's this gorgeous little chain that goes all the way around. And as you know, like, I'm a baby cross stitcher still, and like something like this, sometimes my brain just goes, oh, that's just so much. But I decided it really isn't. It'll be sweet, and I'm going to do it. But because we have 5 weeks for this sew along, I don't have to have the whole chain done the first week. I can just keep working on it as each section comes, so I can get it finished by the end. That's my goal. And then here's a needle minder, which is the life ring with the anchor. I think that's so darling. And if you didn't get the little bag yet, you must. Look how sweet this is. So I've got the floss in there, plus there is the alphabetties that go with this so that you can wrap your floss on there. And I've already got my gray that I'm doing the chain, and here's the other ones. These, look at that little lobster. He's so cute. I love him. I love him. So I am on it. I am on it for Sail Away. And if you're going to jump in, the link is below. You can do it and have a really fun little mystery. I also got one more crumb block left, and I have definitely decided I am going to be making these the whole year. I want to see how many I make, and I want to see how much of an obsession this comes to making them, because it is already now like, oh, I've got some scraps, I've got to sew them up, I can't let them sit. So like right now, this is what I have here. So these are what I have now. That's it, you know. So I have this guy just finished, and there's one partial. I don't know if you can see him. See him right there on the wall? That guy, you know, he's partially done. So he's one to work on. So this is all I have right now. But it, you know, it just seems like every time I turn around, I cut some piece of fabric, like, and more of these little strips and strings and crumbs appear. So I am kind of fascinated by the whole process of it, of working with them as I'm creating them. I think that is just a really interesting process for me personally, that I'm enjoying that. Like I said before, I would not enjoy getting a whole bag of scraps and crumbs. This would not be, this would go, I would have to give it away, because that just would not inspire me at all. It would just be overwhelming. But taking this, you know, group that I just got and going, all right, let's get these sewn up as I'm sewing other things, that is fun. This is turning out to be very fun. I also trimmed down, remember I showed you I had a whole stack of these that I found in my, you know, box. So they're all trimmed. They just need pressed open and put in their baggies by color. All the other ones are done, so that is done. And these are just little things I'm doing in between when I'm doing other stuff. You know, so I'm sort of taking little breaks in between doing the, like, you know, like sewing a block for the sew along is, you know, one of the more main things. But, you know, trimming down these little guys is sort of an in-between thing. And then I'm doing the cross stitch a little bit here, a little bit there, and I'm still leaving it out on the counter over here, which, like I said before, is like really a not good use of my space. But what I did is I did put the cross stitch down into this rolling cart. And over on the table right now is the English paper piecing for the old school block of the month. So once that one block is finished, those will come off that counter, and that can go back to being a regular work surface, because it's really not efficient to have it all laid out there all the time. I do not have a lot of space in here. All right, and being that it is the end of the month, and I'd like to talk about UFOs on Friday, because I think we all have some level of working on UFOs. And, you know, like I said the other day, this was not a good month for me. I only got 2 done, but let's add a 3rd. Let's just chalk one more up, because it's almost done. I'll get it done by the end of the day. It is my Bloomtopia. So there's the Bloomtopia cross stitch. I used my Morrison Park. I did a little blue inner border with the blue stripe, and then I'm going to bind it in the stripe. I'm binding it in the stripe, and I'm doing it by hand because it's just a small piece, and I thought, oh, I can just sit, you know, for a few minutes and get that done. It won't take that long. It won't take that long. Famous last words. So I am pretty excited. I like doing these up as little mini quilts. These are not heirloom cross stitching by any means. At some point, I want to work up to doing a beautiful heirloom type on linen with you know, once my stitching is sort of more even, and you know, so that's down the road. Like right now, I'm just making fun cross stitches just to have the enjoyment of handwork. I want the handwork, that rhythmic, relaxing stitching process, and then I make them into these little mini quilts. So, cheers for me, yes! Get the confetti going. I got that one done. And tomorrow I'll talk about my goals for May, not today. Today we enjoy what we got done in April. Look back at what you did in April. If you're keeping a journal, like I want to take a picture of this and put it up on my gallery because I got it done. And be sure you do that. You know, get that going. Get yourself, you know, documenting what you did and seeing that you actually accomplished something. Okay. What do I have here? Oh. So there was a little side chatter that came up during our live chat when the video runs, which is in the morning at 7:15 a.m. Eastern time. There's usually about 350 of us that chat in the morning, or you know, we're not all chatting. Some of you are just listening and watching. But there was a little side chat, and I forget who said it, but they were feeling guilty because people would ask them to do hemming, alterations, fix zippers, do that kind of sewing, and they really just want to quilt. You know, they don't want to take on jobs like that, and then so they felt guilty. Well, here's the deal: the people who are asking you don't really have any clue probably how sewing works. They don't have any clue that hemming pants is much different than creating patchwork, that putting zippers in is much different than you know, doing applique. I mean, they're just all, these are all different techniques. So here's my way of looking at it. If somebody needs a wedding cake, they are not going to go to the best barbecue guy in town and go up to him and say, you know, hey, you make the best barbecue. I need a really fancy wedding cake. Can you do that for me? Can I just order that from you? You know, most of you probably would not even think to ask your barbecue guy to do a wedding cake. You know, that's like a different type of cooking than cooking meat on the grill is baking and decorating a wedding cake. And what happens is the barbecue guy goes, you know what, I don't really do that, but I know that Beth makes amazing wedding cakes over at, you know, wedding cakes got, you know, galore in town, you know, at the local bakery. So go give her a call. She's fantastic. So this is what you do when you sew. When somebody comes to you and says, hey, I need my pants hemmed, you go, oh, I don't really do that type of sewing. But I know this tailor, you know, Marie, who just is fabulous. She will get your hemming done. She will do your alterations. She will put in your zipper. You know, she'll take in those pants. And Marie is fantastic. So here's her number. And she's over at, you know, her tailor shop. And so have a name. You know, whether it is somebody at your local dry cleaners, a lot of them have a tailor on staff. I know mine does right in my plaza. The tailor works right in the front window, and you can't miss them. That's like, they are sitting right there. So get that in your arsenal. Then you don't feel guilty. You're just like, no, I don't do that type of sewing. Just like the barbecue guy goes, no, I don't do that type of cooking. I don't make wedding cakes. You know, I grill meat. It's like, all right. So there you got it. That is your get out of jail ticket to be able to answer somebody with a response of, here's who you need to call. Alrighty, you can do it. Up on my wall are my Jolly Bar rows for the friendship bracelet, and hopefully over the next few days I will just get those rows sewn up so that I can go ahead and put the border on. Even though we still have a little bit longer, I want to move that process along. And then now we have the May calendar. I usually try to give it to you a little bit sooner than the last day of the prior month, but this is what happens sometimes. So here we have the May calendar. You can go download with all the projects, and I've been having fun finding, you know, every day is a holiday of some sort, celebrate something. So I've been finding a few things each month. I don't know if you noticed, I did it last month, and it's just fun for me. So I put some on there, and there are 2 pages on the calendar today. So the second page is the sew-alongs, the current ones, And actually, when you print it in the PDF, I put the links for all of these to the project pages, so you'll be able to click the link. And then down here are some of the upcoming ones that most of them I don't have enough information to give you yet because I'm waiting on things like fabric to come in. So once that happens, then I can make more formal announcements. But here is all of that. And I know one of them I'll be able to talk about next week because this stuff is there. So I just have to get the project page up for it and talk about it. So I still have a little bit more work, because what happens for me is I have to organize everything that's going to happen with a project sew along, get all the links, be sure all the stuff is there, if there's fabric I'm using, so that if you want to use it. So there's a whole lot of process, and I work with Kimberly at the Fat Quarter Shop to be sure the fabric is there before I tell you. Because there's nothing more frustrating than the first day I say it and it's not in yet. That doesn't make any sense. So there's a whole process. But this is new. I've not done this before, so please leave me a message in the comments here or over at my website today, where you're going to download the Socialites, and you're going to download this over at my website link down below. Okay, friends, there you go. And make your delight block and share it over in the group. And if you have a tree quilt, tell me about that. All right. I love you. I'll see you online. Mwah.